听众，Hi, people at the front of your computer at YouTube, and thank you everybody to come here so early to listen to this annual tax talk. Okay, since I'm a friend of your boss, so every year I come here to talk about some tax knowledge, and I like to spread this knowledge because I don't want people to make mistake. So I'm Kenny Wan, chartered accountant and CPA. Okay, so just cover a little bit about the topic today is we will talk about residency. We'll talk about HST rebate. This topic was covered last year, but I find that people still make mistakes. That's why I come to talk about it again. Also, the problem with the renovation and conversion, there are a lot of people got into trouble in that, so I like to cover that again. And since your boss also selling a U.S. property, so I will cover a little bit of when you introduce your client to buy U.S. property, what kind of tax that he or she need to watch for, okay? And then some planning tips for you, okay? And then we have a Q&A section. Okay, without further ado, okay, residency, non-residency. How to declare non-residency? Okay, why I have a subject about a topic about non-residency? I think you may have clients who ask you, I want to leave Canada, right? Yeah, because there are many people for various purpose. Some people maybe for tax purpose, they don't want to be in Canada for tax, then they want to leave Canada, okay? And so when they have this idea, first of all, you have to know how to declare non-residence, okay? And a lot of the time, your client talk to you, he or she may have a family in Canada, may have a house, may have a job, probably he will quit his job, right? And probably also he may have a job already in China but want to go back, okay? So these are also some ties with Canada. So how do you cut this off? And then we consider some cases, okay, to let you know why it's possible, okay? But before about that, let's talk about what is 2.1 and 2.3. Okay, this is the Income Tax Act Section 2. Section 1 is just a topic, okay? This is Income Tax Act. And Section 2 talk about how to do the tax on you. So the significance of 2.1 and 2.3, actually, sorry, should be, yes, 2.3, okay. 2.1 is about residence. So the second sentence of the Income Tax Act there already say, you are taxed by Canada because you are residents of Canada. Okay? 2.3 is different. Ooh. Sorry. How can I get it back? Okay. 2.3 is different because 2.3 is about non-residence. It only say about some specific income that will be taxed for non-residents. Say, for example, rental income. And then, what is 251A? Okay, so if you're a resident in Canada, you're being taxed, right? So if you're a non-resident, you won't be taxed. So how do you become a resident? Let's talk about that first. Okay, you immigrate here, then you become a resident, right? Okay, and for some other people who are visitor, this 250 is called the sojourners rule, visitors. Okay, if they are in Canada for over 183 days during a calendar year, they are residents. They are tax residents. May not be immigrant, but they are tax residents. So if you have any friend, your mom and dad come here in Canada to visit, if they are over 183 days in a year, will become a tax resident, need to file tax return. Okay? Okay? Yeah. And that year, the year defined as calendar year, not every 12 months. Some people ask me, okay, about this question. So I opened the income tax act and look at that, and he said, calendar year. Okay, it's from January to December, 183 days. But from my experience of working public practice for 25 years, I haven't seen any catch by the CRA to count your days. Okay, so fortunately, I don't know when they will enforce this rule, but we are now having a very accurate record of your in and out movement record. So I think in the future, CRA will start to catch those people, okay, who are over 183 days over here. So that's why people want to leave, because they want to be taxed. So if you want to leave, you need to cut your residential tie. But since I said you may have house, you may have a family, so are you okay for that? So that's why we have this case here. The most famous case is called Thompson. Thompson's case, I think, happened in 1930 or 40 or something. Okay, long time ago. It's a landmark case for residency. Okay, and so this one is talk about Thompson's residential tie. So he lost the case because he was born in Canada. He bought a house in Nova Scotia, but he come back to Canada not often though. But still, because of that tie, they deem him as a resident. But the other four cases here, they have some common characteristics. They are all having family here. Okay, but they left Canada. They only come back to visit their family just occasionally. Okay, so a lot of people say, well, your family is here, you cannot be non-resident. That's not true. These four cases demonstrate that it is still possible. Okay, and can you see one more common thing around this case? Anyone can tell me?
They are not born in Canada.
Yeah, you are very smart. My wife just came in. Sorry. Anybody who answer correct question will have a prize today.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you can see the last name. They are not Canadian. So if your client from China going back to China, regardless that his status in China, okay, CRA will treat him as a non-resident. Okay, yeah, even it's hard to get a resident permit in China, right? If you have a Canadian passport, right? So some people may go in China as a visitor, going back and forth, and over in China for over a year, right? But he still need to pay tax in China, then will become a Chinese resident and non-resident of China. Okay, so if you're going back, if you're an immigrant, you have some advantage. So this answer the leftover residential tie. Okay, so how to declare? Very easy. Ask me. Okay, so I will help you to declare. Some people don't understand how to declare. Okay, some people. This is what I say. Some people think that they need to submit this form NR73. This is a form called Determination of Residency, leaving Canada. Okay, but this form is just a questionnaire. It is just for reference, and CRA designed this questionnaire as their audit tool. So if CRA is not sure about this person is a resident or non-resident, they send you a form like this to fill in. It's not an application form, okay? So don't use this as an application form for non-residents and never file this, okay? Because CRA never requests it, then you don't do anything, okay? Just file your tax return to declare your departure. That will be okay. Do I need to sell the house? Well, if you have a car and want to sell, of course you say yes. Okay, you want to get the listing, right? But the matter of fact is, if the client want to keep the house, it's okay. Okay, but if the house has two names on it, husband and wife, so who should keep the name on the house. Say, for example, the husband is leaving, wife stay. Who should be having the name on the house? Wife. Okay, this lady.
Oh, yes or no?
Both of them. Okay, they both answer wife. Why is that? Okay, this is very important. Why? Yeah, but why you need to remove husband's name?
Easy to claim. Easy to claim the tax return. More easier.
The husband going to decline no residence.
Okay, before there was that was not a big problem for the husband to keep the house. After November 2016, okay, starting the tax year of 2016, actually, the Minister of Finance announced policy saying that you cannot claim principal residence if your name is not exactly as on there. So, if the husband's keeping the name on the house, that means half of the house, when the house is sold, cannot claim principal residence to save tax, to be tax free. So to continue the principal residence tax-free status, we only keep the residence spouse on the title. So before leaving, one good tip is the departing spouse should transfer back the title. Don't take title on the principal residence. Okay. I need to transfer all my residence to my civilian. Yeah, the same things. Okay. If the departing spouse having some rental property, okay, does he need to transfer all the condo back to his wife? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, correct. This is no. But the reason, principal resident, the husband need to transfer to the wife. But why the condominium, the rental property, do not need to transfer? This is the most difficult. Yeah, you answer correctly. Yes. Yeah, you don't need to transfer. But why? Do you know why?
Because you still have to pay the capital
gain.
gain.
But he hasn't sold the house, the rental property.
You need to claim income tax.
Rental income tax.
Anyways.
Okay, this is what you asked question you asked me before we start the seminar. The reason is actually it's lower tax for the non-residents for keeping the rental property. Okay, so the non-resident can continue to file tax return as a non-resident for the rental property. Okay, and because this is a real property, there's no deemed disposition for capital gain yet until finally selling. And actually, when selling, the tax is lower. It's only 25%. I have actually one client last year or 2018.
25%.
25%. I declare him as non-resident August. Okay, and he sold one of his property, a condo, in October, I think. So I done the tax clearance for him and saved him almost more than $100,000 tax because he bought the condo a long time ago. The capital gain is about $50,000 or $60,000. So taxable, even you have half exempted, tax free. Okay, the $300,000, the tax rate is high. Give you a residence, but since he's non-resident, it's only 25% withholding, and then the final tax only 12.5 because half is exempted. Okay, yeah, 12.5. So that guy saved a lot of tax on that. Okay. Do I need to file any tax return? Depends, right? If he, like this case, if he still have some rental income, he still need to file tax return. So for departing residents, that year, the departing year, we have two tax returns. One is from January 1st to the departure day, and the other one is from departure day to December 31st. Two tax returns. So I redeem my RSP, how about TFSA? Those things you don't need to charge. It will continue to be accumulate tax-free. Okay? But one thing is for TFSA, don't buy any more TFSA. You bring you into trouble because when you're non-resident, you will be charged 1% per month penalty. Okay? So it's 12% a year. So I have sometimes some clients don't know that they continue to buy TFSA, then they receive a penalty notice, several thousand, okay, or penalty, okay. So, and TFSA, I never recommend to buy TFSA, okay. It's low use because how much tax you can save for it, okay. And if you mix a lot of money on TFSA, CRA will come back to tax you too, because they will say that you abuse the use of TFSA, okay. Okay, now I think I already touched on how non-resident to sell the house, right? Is only 25% of the selling price. Sometimes it's 50% if you have taken depreciation, okay? But mostly 25%. And then we have to do a lot of work, but don't worry, we can do it. Okay, just ask any accountant, or of course, best accountants, me, to do it, okay? Then you receive compliances. And so if you have any client who are non-resident selling a property, just tell him that you have to make this T2062 application upfront, okay? 30 days before the closing. However, CRA is so slow, okay? So they won't provide you the certificate on time before closing. So mostly the withholding will be 25% on the selling price. On closing. So your client, so it won't affect your closing. So you will still get your commission, get the buyer will get the house or condo, no problem. But 25% of the money will be kept at the lawyer. Don't let the lawyer send to CRA, it's hard to get it back, okay? Take time. So usually the lawyer can give CRA an undertaking to say, I have accountant to handle, wait. Okay, so the 25% kept at the lawyer's trust account waiting for me to get the compliances certificate, and then we remit the tax to government, to CRA. And then we file another tax return to get half back. That's why 12.5% about this, okay? So don't worry, okay? So when you have clients selling as a non-resident, okay? And this is last year already covered. I still see a lot of people get into trouble of new home HST rebate. A lot of people having letter from CRA ask them to prove they entitled to the rebate. Because for any new condo, I think our boss sell a lot of condo, right? You help to sell a lot of condo. So when a new condo closes, okay, there's a mostly $24,000 of HST rebate included in the price. Okay, and this $24,000 give you a new home buyer is already assigned to the builder, because it's already included in the price. Okay, so the builder, the developer, already came on behalf of your client. But after that, CRA will verify your client whether he or she actually live in that condominium. Okay? It's not the same as principal resident. Principal resident is you can say any property as your principal resident, as long as you are there for 1 or 2 days or 1 or 2 weeks a year. But for a new condo, is a different regulation. It's called the Excise Tax Act for HST. And in the Excise Tax Act, it is called primary resident. Primary resident is different. you have to actually live in there. Okay? And since nobody will watch you, you have to keep documentary evidence. Okay? That's why I talk about here. So people having all these problems is they don't move in and they not answering call sometimes because they think this is fraudulent call, right? But don't worry, my client will always say, okay, call Kenny Wan. And since my record is always on the client's tax record, okay? So CRA will call my office, okay? And then we will know this is true or not true, okay? Or they don't change anything of their say driver license or bank statement or whatever, or they haven't sold their previous residence, so they're keeping two. Okay, give your client keeping two residents. That's also another problem. Okay, and another big problem now I find out from last year is not the first one to move in. You have to be the first one. Okay. You cannot rent it for 1 or 2 months and then go there. No. Sometimes you change intention. Change intention. Okay. Originally you want to move in, but now oh no, maybe I'm going to rent it out. So they ask you, the client asks you to help me to lease it out. Yeah, you done it for him, for a client, but remember tell him. Okay, back to Kenny Wan. Okay, to do the change. So we have to give the 24,000 back to CRA immediately because the CRA will charge interest. And then we can back the $24,000 based on the rental program. Because the HST we pay are two different programs, new home or new rental property. Yeah, document to support the HST rebate. So you have to keep all these things like the 老花合同, the APS. That you have to keep those some pages. You have to keep the title transfer, the adjustment, and at least 3 documents to show that you have been using this address as your principal primary residence. Driver license is good, bank statement is good. So say your boss chat to you, okay? Yeah, have your address on it. It's good.
Kenny, I have a problem. I have a question. So primary residence, you don't claim anyways, right? You don't report, you don't submit, and you also don't need claims. Why you need to submit the documents?
Because CRA asks, you don't need to submit.
Oh,
But
if the CIA asks
but 99% CRA asks. Many people think that they can escape from it, but even 5 years, after 5 years, you move in, people still receiving CRA letter. Because you don't know when CRA will go into that building. CRA 很容易去这个楼盘去看的. They have special team. And very easy, right? Just go to the developer office, okay, to get all the file. And they all also they call my client directly too. And I found out the phone number they call is the number they put in on their rebate application form at closing. Okay, at closing you should know there's a form about the assignment of the HST rebate to the builder, and on that form there's a phone number that you have to fill in. So usually our client may put in their cell phone number.
So, but we've been told the CRA never call the taxpayer, only by the mailing, because there's too much.
They will for HST rebate. What I have encountered is they mostly call, and then when they cannot catch you on the phone, they will send you a letter. If you don't answer the letter, they will send another letter saying that your 24,000 need to be going back to us. Okay. Yeah.
It's hard to verify whether.
Yeah, that's why you say you ask us to verify. Okay, we will know it's a fraudulent call or not. Okay. Okay, these are just some example of what you asked before about what document, right? Say driver license, bank statement, employer, phone bill, okay? But the utility bill, they don't accept, okay? Because they said the utility bill is attached to the property, okay? So they don't accept the utility bill. But I still use the utility bill though, sometimes. Say for example, you have two residents. I appeal for my client, and then I show to the auditor saying that, okay, these old residents, the utility bill is very low in usage. And the primary resident now, the new condo or new house, has a higher usage. Okay, yeah, so you still keep those, okay? Yeah, moving company receipt. Some people pay cash to the moving company. No, you still want to get a receipt. I don't care you pay by cash or credit card. Common problem is 老花的名字和这个地契不一样。Okay, so what is on your APS is not the same as on your transfer. Some people change their mind at the last minute. Say, okay, register the condo under my son's name. Or, okay, add my daughter's name on the title. Don't do that. You have to be the same, okay? So if you want to give it to your son, you have to do an amendment. Okay? Delete and insert. Yeah, you can help your client to do that, okay? And get the developer, the builder consent for the amendment before the closing. Or they delay in moving and delay in change of address. Those things they all. For the cost. Oh. Another problem is for the close relative. Some people reading the rule saying that, well, I can have my son live there because the rules say the HST we pay will still be accepted. Yes, correct. But many times CRA won't believe it. Okay, I have clients, they have their son living in their downtown condo because sons go to U of T, but his son never changed any address. Okay, so finally I have to change to CAM as a rental property, making a lease between the parents and the son to get back the $34,000. Okay, so close relative is very, very hard to do. Okay, what happens when you sell your new house? Many people flip their house, especially new house. That will also bring them into big trouble. Okay, first thing is you lose that $24,000 of the rebate. Second thing is all your profit will be profit, not capital gain. Okay, and not even that, part of your sale price will also need to pay HST on it. So you may be losing money. So if you buy a new house, $1 million, you sell it for 1.2 million, say for example. You think it's okay, you make $200,000, but government will come back to give you a tax bill of HST $150,000. You need to collect. But mostly your offer is what? HST included, right? Yeah. For residential property. So if the seller is your client, the seller will be stuck. He won't make $200,000 of profit. Maybe only $20,000. So after your commission may be nothing. Yeah. Okay? Yeah, 不是开玩笑，真的发生的。If you don't report anything, I have seen some unethical agent telling their client, don't worry, you don't need to report. CRA won't find out. Don't say that to your client because your client will come back to blame you. Even though you won't be charged by your client for misconduct. Okay? Don't do that. So tell your client, comply with tax rule. Okay? cannot escape. Another big problem now is, okay, you buy new house, but there are many clients of your clients also renovate their house to sell. That sometimes may also fall into some tax trap, because depending on the extent of the valuation. If the valuation is so much, your client selling the house may be deemed as a builder. If he is deemed as a builder, HST apply. So same thing, if your client sell 1.2 million, $150,000 of HST may be included in there. So your client won't make that much of a profit. Okay, so how much to evaluate the house also your client need to watch for. Okay, yeah, it's called substantial valuation. So if your client is not sure, load this from the CRA website, bulletin B-092. So if your client sell the house, need to pay the HST, or of course he can claim the HST back. So the valuator he hire, or any building material he purchase, all the HST he pay, he can claim it too. Okay, it's just the same business as a big builder. Okay, and the buyer also can claim $24,000. Okay, the buyer. Actually, I have seen a very smart Lao Wai. Okay, he buy a new house, not a new house, a fully evaluated house, substantially evaluated. Okay, from my client, and the guy asked my client to get the HST number because he want to claim $24,000. So my client want to escape. Okay, I said you cannot, but he doesn't listen. But this time he cannot escape because the new buyer want to get it. So he has to register HST. Okay, have to, okay, get chip in the 30% HST, okay, from the selling price.
But when the seller paid that 13% HST is based on the selling price.
Yeah.
But when he claimed the HST is only
24,000.
24. Yeah.
Oh no, the seller.
Yeah.
So seller, everything on the input, everything he used for the valuation or for the rebuild.
But selling part, which is much bigger.
Yeah, of course, of course. So if your client want to go into this kind of business, carefully calculate all the tax. Okay. Now it's not easy to make money for just tear down and build new house now. Particularly because the old house now costs more, right?
But the interior, all fully interior, actually, decorate, renovated, is that considered as substantially renovated?
If you only like repainting, change the tile, there's no structural change, that's okay. Yeah. That is already covered, okay? Yeah, you apply for, yeah, and then, yeah, this already done. But this one here, I already say, but this one also, this is the same slide from last year, but this one I add is the conversion. Some people convert a commercial unit into a residential unit. So when you do a conversion, you have to pay HST on the conversion based on the fair market at that time. Okay, so you have I don't know any example. Yeah, usually for big one, say for example a hotel change into a residence. Okay. Yeah, somebody renovate the hotel or motel and then change it into like a residence, then HST will apply on the total value of the building on the conversion. I also have seen another proposal from a big client to me. he want to build an apartment hotel because of the zoning. And then later on, actually, he's not going to run it as an apartment hotel. He want his client go in there to live. Okay, and then I told him, it's okay maybe for you, but your buyer need to pay the 13% when they move in there as a resident. So finally, he scrapped that project. He scrapped that idea. Oh, yeah, before they want to build a hotel. Okay. Are you a U.S. resident? Okay, now we come into talking about U.S. tax. Actually, any more questions about this already? Then we leave Canada, go into U.S. Okay. Now let's go to U.S. tax residents. First thing you have to be careful is when you cross the border. Okay, what visa are you using? We are Canadian citizens, so we cross the border automatically. They will stamp you for B1 or B2. That's okay, no problem. You can stay in USA for a maximum of 6 months. If you want to stay more, then you come back and then you go there again. And don't cheat because now all the in and out record are recorded. Actually, very easy to check your own record. You go to DHS. There's a website of the U.S. government, Border Service. I saved the link, okay? So my secretary, when I help my client to do their PR card, so my secretary will usually, on that link, just key in my client's passport number and last name and date of birth. Okay, the client's whole history of the last 5 years in and out of USA appear. I forgot the website's name because my secretary, not me. Okay. Yeah.
When you back from US, so they don't even on the border.
No. Now it's very accurate. You know why? Because now Canadian custom and US custom, they exchange information. So when you cross the border, say from US to Canada, Canada having your in, and then this in will be sent to the US side that you're out.
They don't stamp on yours.
They don't need to stamp because all on the computer now, big data, right? I've seen some clients, they have a tour to Kingston. You know, Kingston has a small island, right? You go on that island, and then you back to the boat. That one, also I have seen one day on that record. Okay, it's that accurate. So now the U.S. custom people, they are very careful to check about your intention going to U.S. So if you're going there to work, very, very careful. Or study, you have to get the right visa, right? So there are many other visas available. And you want to avoid being over 183 days. It's called a significant present test. And it is not the same as Canada. Remember, Canada is what? Section 250, right? My first slide is 183 days for a calendar year. But in US, it is, you have to count 3 years. How do you count? Current year count as 1 day. Last year count as 1/3. Second last year count as 1/6. So if you were in USA for 6 days, in 2 years ago, count as 1 day. 6 days counts as 1 day. Last year you were there for 3 days, count as 1 day. For 6 days, count as 2 days. This year you are there as 1 day, count as 1 day. So every year you add up and see if you are over 183. Yeah. Don't ask me why. This is US rule, okay? If you're over 183 days, what happened? Then you become a US tax resident. Then you need to file US tax. And I said already, right? they have accurate custom record now. So if you're over 183 days, you may get caught by IRS. I said I haven't seen CRA catch Canadian, but IRS I don't know because I'm not a U.S. tax accountant. But I really think that okay, U.S. IRS Internal Revenue Service will catch those people over 180 days and then will demand you because your record is on there, your address is on there, right? They just send you a letter, ask you have to file, okay? So anybody can tell me how many days you can spend in USA without being caught? How to solve this problem? Algebra. Anybody know algebra? 183 less than 1 plus 1/3 or 1x plus 1/3 x plus 1/6x, and then all this x add up to what? I tried it last night. Okay, these add up to 1.49 is about 1.5x. So 183 divided by 1.5, 122. So if every year you are less than 122 days, you are okay. So I would say 120 days. That means 4 months. So every year, don't spend in USA for more than 4 months. Then you're okay. You won't be caught by the US tax department. Okay? Because I know some of you having property in Florida, they stay there for the winter. Okay? So you can count how many months you can be there. Okay? But that is not the end of the end of the world, because even that you are required to do U.S. tax return, it just costs you accountant's fee. Okay, yeah. You need to ask your accountant, okay, to claim that you need to file. Okay, you can claim that you have a closer connection to Canada. You are still a Canadian resident. You don't need to pay any U.S. tax. And then you also need to watch out in a year. Don't be over 183 days. That's like the rule of Canada. So in a year, if you are over 183 days, you must file, right? Because 1 year is already over. But if that is over, it's also more critical. But still, that is not the end of the world. You can also claim something called the tiebreaker rules. Okay, we call you as a treaty protected person. But a lot of these, you need to ask accountant to do submission for you to escape from U.S. tax. Okay, so wise recommendation is don't spend too many days in U.S. Okay, if you are already a U.S. green card holder, some people immigrate from USA to here. They still have their green card. You are low luck. You always need to file U.S. tax unless you surrender your U.S. green card. If you are born in USA, no luck too. It's hard to change your birth record, right? All right, so you have Home Life Landmark to sell their U.S. property to your client. So your client is having rental income. So this is what happened for rental income in USA. U.S. tax rule have more technical terms. First technical term is called FDAP. So your rental income is FDAP, then it's a standard 30% tax rate on it, on the gross rent, not the net, gross rent, okay? And our tax treaty does not reduce that, okay? Our tax treaty will reduce our tax rate for dividend and interest earned from USA, but this one is not reduced. So we do not want to pay 30% on the gross rent, right? Because you have what? Expense. So given an expense, then you always remember this form for your client. You want to elect this as a business income. And I don't know why the USA always have this strange terms, right? They call foreigner alien, and then they call this ECI. ECI means effective connected income. Connected with what? Connected with trade or business. Okay, so give you a ECI for trade business. That means that you can claim expense. Okay, so you elect that under this is the regulation. Okay, Internal Revenue Code paragraph A71D. So all you need to do is give that form to the tenant, saying that you will do a tax return. Then your tenant is okay. Your tenant does not need to do any withholding. You just need to file a tax return. Okay? So you file a tax return called 1040 NR, and then in there you put in your rental income schedule, and then you pay your tax. Okay? And in US, you must tax depreciation. In Canada, we don't take depreciation, but in USA, you have to. So when you sell the property, you have maybe a big recapture, more tax to pay at sale time. But during the rental period, because of the depreciation, maybe the tax is low. Okay? And remember, when you buy a property, you start to apply for the US tax identification number. It's like the SSN, Social Security number. Okay? Similar. So this is actually, although the terminology is more complicated, but I think if you carry out, seems not as complicated as Canada. With Canada, we need to do 3 things. Okay, NR6, NR4, Section 216 tax return. Here, seems that you only need to do a one-time tax return if you provide this form to your tenant. Okay? If you provide this form to the client and you don't file tax return, 30% tax, okay? No question. Don't ask me because I haven't done any yet. Okay, this is just the rules. Okay, so when your client wants to sell the US property, it's something we call, in Canada, we call Section 216 tax clearance. In USA, it's called Section 1445. And it's under a different tax act. It's not the Internal Revenue Code. It is something called Foreign Investment in Real Property Tax Act. Okay? And you use Form A288. So in this, okay, you need to file the form when you sell, and the form has 2 parts, A and B. A and B, and your withholding is how much? 10%, I think. Oh, no, 15%. Okay, and your buyer and seller will cooperate to file the 8288, and then you keep the IRS stamp form 8288B on filing your tax return. And in USA, capital gain is 100% tax. No 50% tax free. But their tax rate is much lower. Only 20%. Only 20%. If your client hold the property for more than 12 months. So when you help Homeland Landmark to sell some property, tell your client, don't flip, hold it for over 12 months to sell. Then the entire tax maximum is only 20%. In Canada, your maximum tax rate is 50%. Even 50% is half is tax-free for capital gain. Your maximum is 25. So it's lower. Remember, you need to have your tax number. So you apply early. You don't want to be at the time of closing. Then you need the number, you don't have it. So when your client just buys property, tell him to get the number now. Even though he's not renting. Okay, just get ready with the number, okay? Now is for you a tax planning tip. Time's almost, okay, so I'm going to write one done very quick for you. This is the same as last year, just a revisit. Okay. Now is the RSP time, so you should buy your RSP. But actually, you should buy the RSP for 2020. That means you're early. If you buy the RSP for 2019, you're late. Okay, so buy early, then you start to earn money in the tax-free in your plan. Okay, now the government also is better to for your mileage log. Okay, before you have to record your mileage every day, every visit. Now you only need to record it for 6 months, show a pattern. So some people want to claim 90% for their car. Make sure you have that. Otherwise, when you get audited by CRA, they won't allow 90% for you. So document your business purpose of the expense. So when you have any restaurant receipt document, you are having dinner with whom, okay? A lot of you doing commission speed, rebate to client, okay? Do it properly with agreement, written agreement, okay? With check. Some people at the end of the year say, I have my friend who don't have any income. Give him $20,000. So they just put, okay, cost, expense, $20,000. They say they pay cash. So when the CRA come to audit, there's no evidence. Only the other guy got a $20,000 included on his tax return. Does not mean anything. CRA can still disallow your expense, but your friend cannot remove it out. Yeah, always issue your T4, T4A to your employee. You have your HST number. You can always register the RP account. Now you have RT account for HST. You can register the RP account to issue your own T4 and T4A out. Okay? Don't be too aggressive. Some people like $100,000 of commission income bring down to $20,000 to pay. So. And some people has rental loss. It's okay. I haven't seen for this recent year that CRA come back to attack you for this. REOP. REOP means reasonable expectation of profit. So if you actually engineer a loss, then CRA won't allow that. Okay? Say you want to have a fishing. You have a fishing loss, business loss for fishing. They won't allow that. Okay? Big donation, and donation stock to charity is also very good. If you have any good value stock, you should donate your stock, and then you use the same cash to buy back your stock, and that is a double tip, because the capital gain on the stock, no tax, and then you get a donation receipt of that fair market value of the stock. Who has been here for 3-4 years for this seminar? Okay, so it's good. I bring this again. This is my famous D rule for tax saving. First thing, you want to deduct as much. Deduct. Second thing is you want to divide. So you want to pay your wife for her assistance to help for your real estate business. Yeah, pay her a T4. Divide. You want to defer, right? You want to buy RSP, or some people want to defer by telling the boss, "Don't pay me now, pay me next year." Okay, but don't delete and don't disappear. Okay, thank you. 恭喜发财。